This video will be the first in a series of videos that I'm producing especially for artists. Basically what I'll be doing is showing graphic design for artists. I am a working artist. I do graphic design full-time, and I also do my fine arts practice full-time. I know for some people it's hard to imagine having two activities that I'm doing full-time, but basically when you're an artist, it's a lifestyle. It's not a job as such. So I live and breathe art 24/7, and it's great because I'm doing what I love. No, I'm not an expert by any means. I don't at any time pretend to be an expert. Basically, what I'm doing is sharing what I know from the point of view of someone who is both a graphic designer and an artist, which is the best I can do. Basically, that's what I'm doing today, is just sharing with you what I know, what has worked for me in the past. It may or may not work for you, but hopefully the ideas that I'm giving you will spark something and perhaps give you an idea for something that will work for you in your own practice. Basically today's workshop is all about resizing images of your artwork. Knowing how to resize photos of your artwork is a valuable skill, especially when submitting applications to markets, galleries, art competitions, grants, and festivals. When I first started, I thought that every application would want images in the same format. Yeah, the reality is every single organization has their own file format requirements, and these requirements must be met when you submit the application. Many times they will actually say right in the application that if the images are not sized correctly, it will disqualify you from being considered by the jury. And that can be frustrating because sometimes you don't even know that that was the reason. Actually, most of the time you will never know that that's the reason why you didn't actually get into that show or that gallery or that competition. So today I will be demonstrating how to resize your images, and I'm going to be using 5 different applications: Adobe Photoshop, Windows Paint, and 3 online apps: Resizer, Pick Resizer, and Photopea. I don't own a Apple product, so I can't demonstrate something for Apple users. However, Apple does also have a factory installed app which is called Paintbrush, and it works very similar to Windows Paint. So if you're using that, then it would be comparable. And also Adobe Photoshop works the same regardless of what kind of computer you're using. Okay, so as discussed, we're going to go through 5 different applications. And the first one we're going to look at here is Photoshop. As you can see, I've got my Photoshop program open. I'm going to first go to File, and then I need to open up my image that I want to resize. So I've got all my artwork set up, and we're going to use this image here. And this is just a painting that I did a couple years ago. So this one here, I'm going to show you a couple things first that you may not already know. You may know. If you want to know exactly what this image is to begin with, if you go to the image itself, you can right-click that image, hit Properties, and it will show you when it was created, last time you modified it. If you go over to, it will show you the size. So this one is 2.45 megabytes. And if you go to the Details tab, it will show you the dimensions. And now this is in pixels, so it's 2128 by 1697. And it's 300 dpi. And this actually, because I use a Nikon camera for most of my, when I take pictures, it will tell me what camera I use to take the picture, and it even gives me the camera information, which is kind of cool if you're into that kind of thing. Okay, so we've got this open in Photoshop. What I want to do is go to Image, Image Size. Now, as we said, this is the actual size of this image right now. I need to size this down to 72 dpi. So let's change our resolution first. We'll go 72, and then we'll go back up to our largest side. It needs to be no more than 1200 pixels. And we hit OK, and it's resized our image. Then when we go to save, we go save as, and give it a different name. Otherwise you're going to overwrite your nice big huge high res photo. So for the purposes of this, I'm just going to put in Photoshop and then save. And I always use the maximum file size. Again, what this does is it'll make your file size larger or smaller. And then you hit OK. So that's pretty easy in Photoshop. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is we'll move over here and we're going to use Windows Paint. Now remember again, I mentioned that Windows Paint is very similar to the Apple Macintosh version of Paintbrush. So same thing, once you've got Windows Paint open, you go to open and find your file. There it is. It will open up your file. And then right here, it will show resize. I don't know if you can see that. Let me resize my window here so you can see that. There we go. So right here is resize. Click on resize. And you can go by percentage or by pixels, but because we've got a specific number of pixels that we need to do, we're going to use pixels. Make sure that your maintain aspect ratio is on. If this is unchecked and you change the size, I'll show you what it does. It only changes the one side. Just hit your undo button if you do something wrong and go back to resize. Make sure your aspect ratio is on, pixels, 1200, and then OK. And now your image is resized. And then the same thing, if you want to save it, you go into File, Save As, select JPEG, and then give it a name. So let's go to our first online resizer, and it's called Image Resizer, and it's resizeimage.net is the address. It's very similar to what we've been using already. Just follow the directions, upload an image, again find your image, depending on your speed of your connection, it might take a little while to load. There it is. And then part 2. So you could crop the image in here if you want to. You can specify a particular size. Down here you go to resize your image, and you want to keep it at 100%. Change your size there. I want no fill, I don't want any background. I want to keep it as a JPEG, and I want the best quality. Quality to 100%. Resize image. Shows you what the old image was, and then you can just download your image here. I'm just going to save it on the desktop. And there it is. The next one is Pick Resize, and this is also an online tool. This one's a little less complicated. Basically, all you're going to do is find your file again. Just right here. Open it up. Continue to edit picture. Again, you can crop the picture if you want to. And then here I'm going to select a custom size. $1200. I'm going to leave this blank because I only need to specify one of the sizes. As you can see over here, it automatically will tell you what the height's going to be based on that ratio. You can add special effects in here, but when you're sending off to galleries and things like that for applications, they don't want frames and all kinds of fancy stuff. They just want to see the actual artwork. They don't want anything else in the picture. So it's important to crop all of that out. Again, you can choose the format. I want a JPEG, and I want the best quality that I can get. I can view the image. That's it right there. And then if I want to download it, again, select where I want to download. I'm not going to save all of these because I have a lot of them already. And I can save it to my desktop. The third one of the online, as you can see, it looks a lot like our Photoshop. This is our Photoshop here. If you look at the tools, it's very, very similar to the same tools as what we have over here. So same idea, go to File, Open. It's the same idea as Photoshop. Find your image, it will open, and then to resize you hit Image, Image Size. Make sure that your aspect ratio again is locked. If you unlock this, when you go to change your width, it will squish it down. So let's change this to 1200. It automatically will change that. And in here, this is great because I can change my DPI to 72, which is what it was required. Leave that at bilinear, hit OK. There's my new image. And then I can also save this image. File, export. If you save as PSD, that means it's going to save it as a Photoshop file, which unless you have Photoshop or you go back to the Photopea online, you're not going to be able to see. So if you export as, and then hit JPEG, JPG, that will give you what you're looking for. And again, I'm going to move this quality all the way over to 100%. And then hit save. And save. And there's the image. So pretty easy. So I hope this has been helpful. This is just the first of a series of videos that I'm going to be doing. Basically, it's graphic design for artists, and it's very likely that a lot of you already know how to resize images for when you're sending them in, and that's awesome. Again, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction. When you're looking for any of my next workshops, you'll find them posted on my website, or they will also be on my website page. So thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye for now.